Greetings and blessings. Welcome to Medz with JudaH. Today we're going to do something a little bit different, as we do all the time. Different. We're going to check our good friend and business partner, Randy Miles, and we're going to interview him and ask him about his involvement in Fat Pig Society and give us a little bit of insights on some of their products. So, without further ado, let's begin.
I'm here with Randy Miles, a good friend and business partner of mine, also family. And Randy has helped introduce me to Fat Pig Society, and you've seen how we continue to promote them in every way possible that we can, because we know that they're good people. And Randy here is an ambassador for Fat Pig Society, and he's going to tell you a little bit about some things, and we're just going to go with it, and we're going to hold our vibes. So blessings.
So, I'd like to talk a little bit about Fat Pig organic gummies today and how they've helped me. I've been taking the organic gummies for quite a long time, and I was suffering from some medical ailments that required prescription meds, or at least I thought they required prescription meds until I found Fat Pig Society and their CBD products, and I can say honestly that I no longer take any prescription drugs, and the only thing aside of other supplements that I've been taking all my life is CBD. It's the only new addition, and I've been able to get off of blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, triglyceride medication, and diabetic medication, which I was shooting once a day. So I'm very pleased to represent them, and I'm very pleased that they have named me their ambassador to be a spokesman to show you these products and living proof of the results. So if you would, please support us. We are a non-for-profit co-op that works towards medical and farming research in hemp and CBD production. We are certified organic, and we take everything we do very seriously. We create great medicine for serious illness, and it works. I suggest if you have issues or any of your loved ones have issues, you look up Fat Pig Society at fatpigsociety.com. Thank you.
Beautiful, brother. Give thanks. So there you have it. One take. You don't need to practice this. This is real life.
This is your life.
Your life is our life. That's what we do, you know? Welcome to
I
the
am
life.
going to join you in a libation, okay?
Randy, give me some more information and really show us what and who the Fat Pig Society is to you and how it's all happened.
Sure.
Give us the
So
story.
let me tell you the story about how I got to meet them and how I got to use their products. I was visiting a friend of mine in Aspen, Colorado, and I was explaining to him about these medical issues I had, where I had high blood pressure, high cholesterol, high triglycerides, and diabetes, where I was shooting diabetic medication daily. And he's like, well, you know, CBD might help you. And I happen to have a good friend who is the kind of the be-all, end-all in CBD. He is the guy who grew the first CBD in the United States and brought the strain here from Israel through one of the universities. And he lives in Fort Collins. So he's like, I can arrange for you to meet this guy, and you know, then you can ask him your questions and see if it's right for you. So kind of a shuffle back and forth between Aspen and Fort Collins a couple times to catch up with Bill Althouse, who is the fellow who runs Fat Pig Society and the guy I sought out and met. And when I finally connected with Bill and Eugenia, who is the farm support system there. They were wonderful people. They welcomed me. We had a wonderful lunch, and we proceeded to have about a 6-hour discussion about hemp and cannabis and CBD and the benefits of, and Bill's experience in not only growing it, but actually using it with cancer patients and seeing results, and patients with other debilities as well. So I quickly became intrigued with the science, where I did some homework, but I was more enthralled with their integrity on the farm. After spending 6-8 hours there and, breaking bread with them and really understanding what it is they do and why they do it, I walked away a believer in Fat Pig Society, and I started taking their products regularly. I went back to Chicago and I told my doctor about my experience, and I told him that I had this CBD product that I wanted to take, and he's like, well, we'll do your blood work every so often and we'll see what's going on.
Right.
So within 6 to 7 months, after doing blood work about every 6 weeks and reducing my medication significantly through every 6 weeks of getting the blood work results, I basically was able to remove all of the medications, prescription medications, from my repertoire daily. And I've been on a regimen of CBD ever since, and I now am considered the Fat Pig Society ambassador because I learned about a lot of what they do. I believe in their mission. I believe in their passion. Their integrity is unsurpassed that I have seen in the business community. They're not necessarily business people. These people are really passionate about hemp and cannabis, and that it can have its place in actually saving the world, which is something in my elder years and my retirement I want to contribute to. I've been I've had a good life, and I've been successful, and I now want to give back, and I see CBD and Fat Pig Society as the perfect champion of my efforts. And I have spread the word to hundreds, maybe thousands of people about CBD, Fat Pig Society, the ability of their particular CBD oil to work healing miracles in a multitude of different types of ailments, from Alzheimer's to epilepsy to autism to gut health and Crohn's disease. And I mean, these are all examples of people I know who I have gotten involved with CBD who have had positive results, and some of them have been what you might say cured of it, Right. So I'm really ecstatic about being able to work with a group that has this kind of integrity and believes in the farmer, number one, organics, number two, not necessarily in that order, but and in the medical healing and the possibility of the climate changing efforts of hemp and growing hemp and producing the byproducts of hemp, and taking it beyond CBD into the hopefully renewable energy field, and actually working in remediating contamination in, for instance, we're in Florida now, we have a red tide issue here regularly, and we work with some groups here in Florida that work on remediating the red tide by growing hemp around some of the fresh lakes, which sucks up the algae and remediates it down to where it's not a noxious or toxic substance. So there's amazing work being done in research with hemp. I try to connect researchers together on the higher levels as the ambassador for Fat Pig, and I kind of act as a guy who vets out some of the charlatans who think they may want to play in the arena, which, anytime there's people sniffing around for money, you have that. I'll say the Fat Pig Society, Bill Althaus and Eugenia are just two of the most special people I've ever met in my life. Capitalism has no place in their world, not one bit. I've worked with them on their farm. I've been there for harvest for the last 4 or 5 years, and it's an incredible movement of volunteers and people who have a lot of love and come to the farm to create the medicine that actually heals their family and friends. Right. It's amazing. It's amazing. Totally amazing.
I agree. Thank you, Randy, for that advice, because that's the full story right there in the shortest way possible. Because I know there's so much more.
There is, working with them and learning to work with them, and then, dealing with the other aspects of of the medical side of things, illness and whatnot, I've found that, people have a passion for their pets, of course, and Susie CBD Pet Treats has become a champion of ours, and our sister group that actually runs the retail side of, if you will, Fat Pig. We're two different organizations. However, they support us and they buy our oil that we produce, which enables us to continue our research. And the research we do in conjunction with Colorado State University and other universities around the world is from soup to nuts, basically, on grain, fiber, clothing. Bill Althaus sits on the ASTM committee, D37, I believe it is, for cannabis for insulation. So trying to bring insulation and cannabis and hemp and fiber into the construction world, which you're hearing a lot about these days. But Bill believes, and as do I, and anyone who's worked with industries like that know, you must create standards in order to get people, in order to get companies to perform to those standards, whether it be farmers or manufacturers or whatever. So until you have a standard for a product, the farmer doesn't know what to grow in order to create that product. So right now, we're focusing some effort in the legislative side of things in creating those standards. So that's another innovative way where Bill and Fat Pig Society spends countless amount of hours working feverishly for no pay whatsoever to try to forward this movement. And I admire that, and that's why, again, I've connected myself to them, and I'm really pleased to represent them. I'm proud of what they do. I'm proud to be associated with what they do. You will not find better people, and that's just how it is,
I agree. I agree with my insights that I've come to pass through you and through them and the help that they've given me. It's a pleasure just to be part to help in this aspect.
And we appreciate it, and we see this network grow like this. You Keegan, my friend, and I know we were able to help your dad a little bit, bless his soul and rest his soul. Yes, and I think we were able to affect a little bit of the quality of life prior to his passing.
More than that,
yeah, so, and I see it in many people, many people. So these are the things we do that bring us some satisfaction, but the frustration is amazing. We're, due to the fact that cannabis has been suppressed for 80 some odd years, 88 years. The research is not where it should be, and due to the fact that we're still a Schedule I, unfortunately, for marijuana,
we already know.
We can't do the research that we need to do and tie CBD and THC together in the medicinal arena. We also believe that we need to tie those things together in the commercial arena, because marijuana is going to be a problem. It's going to be an ecological problem. They're using too much water. They're using too much energy. So in order to kind of fill these social gaps, if you will, a new system and a new way of doing things has to be created, and we believe that is regenerative farming on small family farms and allowing people to grow their own medicine. And we're a big proponent of growing your own medicine. Some states allow it, some states do not. We're hoping when it goes federally legal that they will allow it to grow like a potato or a carrot, because that's what it is. People should be able to grow it in their garden, and that's our take on it, and I believe I speak for the Fat Pig Society group on that particular subject. And again, I can't express how proud I am to work with them, and the beauty of their love, and their insight and their sincere and wholesomeness. And I know this all kind of sounds until you've met these people, but I suggest you go on their website and take a look and see what they do and what they've done for hemp and cannabis, because they are pioneers. And without Bill Althaus, CBD would not be where it is today. And there's a good video about him talking about the beginning of his CBD career. on their website, and it's a very fascinating video. I suggest people look at it.
I would like to intervene and ask you a question.
Sure.
To add, I was introduced to a strain called Unicorn, and I had the pleasure of growing it in Florida to see what it's like out here doing. And it is one of the most beautiful strains I've ever grown. Let's educate some people on what is the unicorn strain, because we know we see the beautiful unicorn down here chilling.
Absolutely.
And
It's our mascot, by the way.
there you go. There's no better mascot than a unicorn, other than a lion. So you know, we work hand in hand.
There you have it.
So at the end of the day, we got it.
Yeah.
Tell us about Bill in the manner of the unicorn aspect, story of that.
So when I first met them, they were, I was new to hemp farming, and I wanted to help, and I would watch how they would, and I came there in the middle of the middle of the grow, if you will, as they were just starting to flower. So it was 6 weeks before harvest, and then I went back for harvest, and I noticed some things, and picking up some crosstalk while you're working with people who've been there before, and getting some information from Bill. The goal was to create a chemovar, a strain that would not go hot, and in the hemp industry, going hot means having more than 0.3% THC in the finished product. That's an arbitrary number, but that's what we have to do. Yeah. But all that being said, that was what we were. That was our struggle, because when the Farm Bill passed, 2018. It did legalize hemp, and with the caveat of it being 0.3% or less.
Right.
So Bill's goal was to create a strain that farmers could grow to maturity, because growing to maturity yields 40 to 50, sometimes 60% more product than cutting 2 to 3 weeks early, which has been the practice in the hemp industry to maintain compliance, because the THC and the CBD both spike in the last 3 to 4 weeks. 2, 3, 4 weeks out, that starts to spike. So many of these growers are cutting very early to try to mitigate that compliance issue and have to burn their crops. Bill thought if we could create a strain that we could guarantee would not go hot, that the farmers would have a leg up, and they wouldn't be wasting their time and money growing something to fruition and realizing that it was not compliant, and that it netted them $0, and it was a negative for them for the year. So he worked on growing experimental plants.
It's just like growing a watermelon this big, and it has some seeds in it, and you have to throw it away. It's pretty much what that practice means, and what is forced by certain people.
Well, we grew on that farm, and we have 2 farms in Fort Collins. We have a farm that is the oldest organic farm in Colorado, called Happy Heart, which is our production farm. It's 5 acres, and we grow a lot of plants there. But on our Hollywood Avenue farm, it's a small farm, and it's a research facility. So we grow maybe 6,000 plants there, all different chemovars, all different strains, for those of you who understand that terminology. Chemovar is the actual terminology there, though, so if you're going to be specific. But anyway, we grow that amount, and basically we grow them, we chart them, we test them, and if they don't test any better than anything we've previously grown, we kill it. So it's an R&D world there, and over the 7 or 8 years Bill's been doing this, Unicorn has performed every year perfectly. So Unicorn is now in for AOSCA certification. American Association of Seed Certifiers, basically. Forgive me for the acronym, maybe be wrong, but it is AOSCA.
And this is the first hemp seed ever.
It's the first, not only is it the first hemp plant ever to be accepted by AOSCA,
Right.
it is the very first clone to ever be accepted by AOSCA in the whole United States.
Game
So,
changer.
yeah, total
History
game
making.
changer.
Made
So,
history. Already done.
Fat Pig and Bill Altus's guarantee this coming planting season is that you buy our clones through our distributors, which we've contracted with some national distributors to take the tissue cultures and make the clones. You buy our clones and we will offer a money back guarantee if it goes hot. In other words, whatever you paid for your inputs for your clones for the beginning purchase, we will give you your money back. We're the only people, I
does
believe, in the world
So I'm
that,
saying, who
that
does
are
that?
offering that.
Who does?
So this is a testament to our, to what we do and how we do it. And now we are moving on into the fiber arena because we think we've created the best CBD we can, and our products and our customers are there to prove that. And from there, now it's on to fiber and grain, where we think again the world we can have a bigger impact on the world than on one-on-one with medicinal people, which is important and extremely important to us. And we will continue our one-on-one battle with people to beat their problems or mitigate some of their illnesses.
Right.
But the big picture, the whole Megillah, if you will, is energy and renewable energy. And we believe agnostic grain and agnostic biomass fields can supply the amount of fuel we need to burn to create the energy we need, and we can grow it. Now, we say agnostic because we don't want to take a wheat grower's wheat away from him, but we do believe that over time the wheat grower and the soy grower will realize that they can plant hemp as a rotational crop, which would be beneficial to their crops. Plus, it would then
The plants that the hemp will be beneficial to their crops, and in that,
and in addition, would also be easier to grow 2-3 crops a year, depending on your geographical environment.
Right.
However, we can probably grow. We've seen fiber hemp plants grown to 14, 18, even 20 feet in
Monsters.
100 days.
Wow.
So if we could get 2 crops a year out of most farmers, which in 200 days we believe we can, because hemp doesn't really need a whole lot of anything to grow, and it doesn't need a lot of inputs, and it puts back into the ground. We think it's a perfect crop that farmers would choose naturally to be, rather than agnostic in their wheat, soy, hay, whatever they grow. Now, it makes more sense to grow hemp because it's easier, it's cheaper, and it's easier to harvest. All of those things fit into a farmer's world.
Yes, they do.
So there's a big picture here, and then there's a bigger picture, and then there's a giant picture.
Yes.
And Fat Pig is a big puzzle piece into all 3 of those scenarios, in my opinion.
I agree.
And I'm very happy to be associated with them and to help further that. And, as an ambassador, what I try to do is connect the dots, put other experts together with them, and go out and vet some of these people who claim to be hemp-centric and
Yes.
find out they're just really money-centric,
Money-centric,
and
of
they're
course.
chasing a dream. Well, we like dreamers, but we like producers too. We like people who get things done, and Fat Pig Society gets things done.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm very happy to represent them. And I can't stress enough for people to please go on their website and please check them out, because there's a wealth of information there, whether you're a farmer, whether you're a patient, whether you're a cannabis enthusiast, you name it. Living soil kind of enthusiast, those are the kinds of things that jazz us,
Yeah.
and like minds there collect, and there's good synergy through them. And please, if you're in Fort Collins, reach out. They are happy, and I mean happy, to host you. Come around 1 o'clock, you'll get a great lunch every day. And I can guarantee that, and that's how I got welcomed there.
There's opportunity right there.
And the lunch was fabulous, and it was like I found home. You know, I can't explain it any other way. I was welcome there, and I know I'll be welcome there the rest of my life. I just sent a young man there over the weekend from Florida here. He happened to be out there with his family, and he called me this morning, and he said, "I had the best time in the world at the farm with my kids." And he goes, "You guys are awesome," you know. And he's a what we call an agent of change. So he sells product for Fat Pig Society, and he had a chance to go and see the farm and see how we make the product, and that's how we endear people to us. Is we let them participate in this. We let them participate in their healing as well, you know, which is kind of cool, you know. You don't have to listen to some guy in a white coat telling you take this, do that, and write your check here, you know.
Exactly.
It's pretty cool, and I'm very stoked to be there. I really am, you know.
Well, it's a beautiful story and a lot of truth in that. So we give thanks for that, and I agree with everything that you've said through my experience thus far. So that's beautiful, Randy. Thank you. There you have it, Fat Pig Society.
And the unicorn.
And the unicorn.
Buy your unicorn.
100% awesome.
Ask your seed brokers for unicorn.
They exist. All over the world, they exist.
Yeah.
So find it.
Thank you, Keegan. And Keegan, you've been a joy to work with, you know, and I appreciate your passion as well. You know, I introduced you to them, and you saw right away a match made in heaven, and you've been wonderful as well to spreading the word. And, you know, you've been helpful to me as an ambassador to help get out to the people, you know.
Of course.
I'm an old dog. That's OD for you people, okay? Not OG.
OD. I love it.
But I'm not that versed on the Instagram and the YouTube and that stuff. But I'm happy to sit here and tell you my stories because I think it's important for people to hear. You know?
I agree. Our stories mean something. We're all here with a purpose.
Words matter.
Words matter.
Yeah, they do.
Word power sound.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you, Randy.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks. See us again next time. Oh, doggy wants love. Frankie wants love.
Frankie wants some love.
Oh,
He
Frankie,
got a
you
new
wanna
buddy.
All right, blessings and give thanks for taking the time to listen to some very powerful testimony from Randy Miles and some good information and history about the Fat Pig Society. Of course, we gotta give thanks to our mascot, Frankie. And he was named Frankie because his eyes are blue, just like Frank Sinatra's. So again, we give thanks for you tuning in, enjoying the vibes, learning something new, and allowing us to help better your life by offering the cures for a lot of disease and ailments that big pharmaceutical companies just can't heal. So thank you for allowing us to help you. Have a blessed day, blessed night, wherever you are. May your vibes be high. May you find peace and joy within yourself inside, so that the world may find peace and joy outside. See you again next time. God bless. Oh yes.